Hey class, getting ready for week 11 here, and you're probably just in the final edits of your team leadership maxims, so I'm looking forward to seeing those. They're due, I guess it's on the 1st, right? So we got a little bit of overlap this week, but you had a whole week to work on the maxims, so I'm hoping you took great advantage of that. We're moving into our third and final module, which has to do with organizational leadership. So here's where we'll be trying to bring our previous themes about personal leadership, team leadership, and then how do those things get played out on a grander scale in the organization. Well, when you think about an organization, one of the most potent themes that underlies any group happens to be culture. I'm sure if you took some time and I gave you an assignment to write a couple paragraphs about the culture at your organization, might be surprised at how well you could describe that, because it's what you live. So to kick this module off, we're going to kind of step aside from the books just a little bit for a week, although I'm going to refer you back to some of the material that you've already worked on in order to answer your discussion questions. And so we're going to look at a cultural issue and kind of jump right headlong into it and see what we can make of it and why this particular issue has lingered for as long as it has. And so really the title for this week is Women and Leadership. And we're going to be doing a few things just a little bit differently, although I'm sure you'll find the pattern to be very familiar. You're going to be taking a personal assessment called the Implicit Association Test. There are a number of those. This one has to do with gender leader traits or responses. It'll be very important that you don't try to game this. It's short. It's probably unique compared to anything that you've done, but doing it quickly, very quickly, so that your initial impulses or what comes out will be most instructive. Anybody could really game this, kind of see what good looks like, but we're not after good, we're after us. So please take it with that in mind. There's actually a little practice test at the beginning so you can get the hang of it. It'll be very critical that you really do that as quickly and as honestly as you can. There are 2 articles that we'll be reading, and actually, as you'll see, the guys are going to read one article, ladies are going to read the other. And so that when it gets time to do the discussion, you'll have to kind of, in answering the question that pertains to it, you have to say a little bit about it so that we can teach back to each other. And so I guess I've got to add this into the discussion instructions now that I think about it. But as usual, you'll have to get your post by Friday. By Sunday, you're going to respond. And then by Monday, we do a further wrap-up response. But I think I'll probably have you actually respond to responses in this, since we're doing a little bit of a teach back. So watch for that. We're going to do another little research at work. Hopefully you'll find this somewhat amusing, although the topic really isn't. It comes from a Dilbert comic. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to print that comic out. And there's also a little a research sheet where you're going to gather your data, and ask you to print 5 of those. And so essentially you'll ask somebody at work to read the comic and then respond to it as to whether what comes out of that comic is seldom true, mostly true, completely true, or not true at all about your organization. Very quick and easy, but I thought that it really blends in with the work that we're doing in this particular discussion week. So have fun with it, but it'll be interesting to see what you gather. You might be surprised. We'll finish up with a very compelling video. I love the week when we do this. It's Sheryl Sandberg talking about challenges for gender equity, especially in moving up in leadership. And so I think you'll probably all, but especially ladies, you'll find this particularly poignant. Probably push a button or two, and you'll certainly be able to relate. But being able to bring that experience forward is something that'll be instructive for all of us. I think what's interesting about Sandberg's video is that there are things that both males and females do that end up being limiting for for gender equity in terms of moving up the glass ceiling, if you will. So again, it's a little different, but the format's still pretty much the same. We're going to learn a lot from each other, and there are a few of these instructions that don't necessarily appear out there in course content. I'm doing that on purpose because, as it turns out, not everyone watches these marvelous videos. I find that hard to imagine, but it's true. So we'll see what issues that might cause. So have fun with this. Again, really try to grab a hold of the material, and I know you'll do a great job with the discussions. I'm just looking so forward to seeing what you make of this important issue. So have fun, good luck, and I'll be in touch.